everyone. I hope everyone's day, night, or afternoon, whatever, wherever you are. I hope you're doing well and having a great day. Anyway, this might be short, not sure. But anyway, I'll just get into it. I was told to bring this up, but again, it's for, the word entitled or entitlement. Well, everyone knows what it means. But why is it that some, pretend that they don't? And now it's getting to where, it's rubbing off and going to, children. I came across the one, where, and I see a lot of them, in, London, that, adults do it, that why can't anyone respect, especially laws, and there's signs up? Now I can see getting pictures with, the guards, where, the horses are, or the guards, for the king and the queen, and, the prince and the princess, whatever. What I see is, people know, and there's signs up. Don't get too close to the horses because they'll bite. What do people do? They touch the horses. Now a horse knows. And if they want you to pet them or get near them, they will come to you. But you see, like the guards, they know their job. They know that people can't touch them or whatever. And then there was one where a teenager got into one of the guards' faces and started, hitting him with the finger, poking him. What is that? Let me see you stand there all day long for hours and hours and not moving. No one or anyone should be disrespectful. Not only to them, but to anyone. So it doesn't give you the, the right to be thinking that you're entitled to do whatever. So, Stop pretending you don't know what it means. And think that it's not going to catch up on you. See, entitled means, with pretending, like I said, teens, adults, that you have the right to disrespect anyone or to harm anyone, and whatever else, you do or try to do to anyone. But let's not forget, again, I mentioned all this before. You see, it don't matter who you are, how much money you have, who you know. Don't mean you have the right to throw it around, to get away with it or whatever. All that should have been put to a stop long time ago. Back then it would be, thinking by throwing your weight around that it's okay. No, it's not. And children need to know before they ruin their lives by doing whatever. Whatever it may be, whether it's, stealing, harming another, driving drunk, or, texting, not paying attention, or going, to places, knowing that there's no responsible adult there, learning young to be responsible, when they go to college, parents will be, I guess calmer or whatever, that knowing that, while they're there, everyone knows to protect each other. That they don't know any of this, they won't know if they don't start now. And they won't learn, by helping, to build up, communities and getting along, or getting out there to go make a difference. Adults should do that too. And don't get that wrong, I know there's a lot of progress, and a lot, even kids are all out there making the difference and making it better. But, it shouldn't be who you are, how much anyone has, and etc. Or how you show how strong you are. How strong you are is showing how you handle whatever, how you are making a difference, making it better, making peace, spreading love. Having entitlement isn't, isn't making up lies, drama, BS. What you think is yours, by taking from others. It's working for your entitlement that you deserve. That's what it is. It's also what God gives. It's what you save, your money to get what you deserve and you're entitled to. It's what you do to help to make it better and a difference. As I said, you get entitlement. And no, it's not, recognition. I don't mean that it's entitlement. It's by what God gives you. You see, everyone knows I am God's baby. That don't mean I'm entitled to do whatever I like. Or whatever, like whoever does, just like them. I don't throw it around. When I do anything I'm not supposed to, thinking I can get away with it. Do you think I can get away with it? Well, that's not how it works. And it shouldn't be with anyone. I know how it works. And so does most. Difference is I get punished right away. And it's not how you think. But others, you see, they don't till, catches up, or until everyone starts speaking up and having them learn for what they did. Instead of keeping it quiet and whatever. Speak up before it gets out of hand. But the difference between being entitled is, who you are and what you do. Which is not abusing it. Example, one of them. I'm entitled with gifts God gave me and who I am. I know what happens if I use that. Oh, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Anyway. Two. Amazes me. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Good girl. It's okay. But anyway, I don't abuse it. Hold up. Now I know what she's barking about. Yeah. I hope they got caught too. Well, they probably did. That's probably what the screaming was. Okay, enough. Anyway, I know not to abuse it. And do anything I'm not supposed to. Like being entitled can be, authorities, judges, bosses, managers, and etc. They don't abuse it. And ones who do, well, they'll see what happens. But there's way more that aren't like that. See, because a few or whatever, how many, that don't, they think that everybody is like that. Nice attitude. Real nice to have. Workers as employees, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, they're entitled, to support, love each other. Workers are supposed to, don't abuse things at work, to do things that they're not supposed to. Bosses aren't supposed to, do things, because they have the, they're entitled because they're a boss. No, everyone's supposed to work together. and be nice to each other. And don't abuse while you're at work to do other things. You know, with the boyfriend and etc. You know, don't abuse that, by cheating, stealing, someone from others. Being entitled is what you deserve. That is yours rightfully. Not because you think you should and others shouldn't. Well, keep saying it, it's time to make everything right, not destroy it, or what should, what we should be is working together and helping and teaching each other. And, women should be looking out for other women, and protecting, not shaming each other or stealing from one another, boyfriends or whatever. You should let them know. And it's the same with, the men, protecting each other and then coming together and, protecting, each other. Men protect the women protect the men. To have trust, you should know what that is. As in handling, and noticing when someone is flirting, which, is a start, and knowing when you have trust, that means, whoever's being flirted with, when you're with someone and they have the trust in you, when you see someone trying to flirt with you, I mean, it's nice to have, a small conversation, when someone, your other half, isn't there. But when you see that they're flirting with you, and you trust each other, you're both faithful and etc., don't you think that you should put a stop to it right away? Why is it that people have to try to ruin relationships or marriages? That's why, we all should, work together to put a stop. Especially, say when everyone knows each other, as friends or whatever. As I've seen, ones who are making that difference is to let ones know. And that's how you do it. They are helping someone and looking out for someone that they didn't even know. But like I said, why can't ones be like that? I know there's a lot out there that are like that, keeping an eye out for each other. But the ones who do it, well, it's not only the women, it's men. When, they are with someone. The thing is, when you are a cheater or whatever, why is it that, if both want to go, from one to another or whatever, why don't you just stop leading on, the good ones? Also, to let you know, they will always find out anyway. And remember, when they do, I don't feel sorry for you when it hits you when they leave. Because when it hits you, you'll know that you will never find a person like them again. And I can go down the list. That person was good to you, supported you, whatever. Why would you mess something up like that? Why would anyone ruin something that you have that's good to you and, whatever? Thinking that everything's greener on the other side? Then you don't deserve a good person. Well, not that person. But really, why would anybody mess something up? Or fool for, I guess being loved bomb or lies. Oh, I'll do anything for you. I'll be better than them. Oh, I promise this. I promise that. Really? Well, anyway. But I do want to say, and I've been saying this, before, how, all ones I used to follow, that somebody unfollowed me from all of them. Or it could be, they blocked me. But anyway, I did a video and I said something like that. And now I know somebody is trying so hard. Amazes me. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to get the video out. Anyway, I was saying about, I don't know, somehow, about 6 of them or whatever became a friend. But I mentioned for them, I need to accept them. But anyway, and I said that one disappeared or something, and I mentioned that different ways that it could be, or that the real one probably saw it and whatever they did to block them. But anyway, whoever they were, I don't know. That disappeared. My team didn't tell me. But I didn't accept them. So I don't know how they got there. And I also said, reasons why they weren't there, like I said. And that, I mentioned that either the real one blocked them because they had access to their account. So, I was told to bring it up because of a few things. With some, that, someone unfollowed me. To the ones that I was following. And then when I was told about that, and I've also noticed, I refollowed some of them. I mean, I don't know how many times I had to do that. With ones that I did get a chance to. And now I, I really don't get anything again. So, I mean, I noticed it. But then I was told, I was asked that my team said, "Oh, I didn't know you unfollowed whoever." I said I didn't. They were like, "Well, we didn't do it." I was like, "Well, don't worry about it." Because as many times I did it, I'm not going to go hunt and refollow. I mean, I didn't finish refollowing others, but that's okay. Because I'm not playing that game, back and forth, doing all that, you know, even though that with some that I loved, seeing, especially when I needed it, you know, when they did it. And when I needed it, it came across me, you know, to remind me to, when I would think of a few people who passed away, they reminded me of them. Every time I thought of them. And if I see them, it made it better. But now, don't twist it, okay? Because you thought you got me, because now I don't care to go, back and forth, and that I'm not going to follow people. No, I'm not playing your game. you know. So don't think that you got me, by thinking, now that I don't have anyone, or, oh, now, she'll be doing everything alone. Well, if you thought that, well, some of them did, then the only thing that you heard when you listened or someone told you what I've said, the only things that you got was how I was telling how you were doing everything. It's the only thing that you listened to. You didn't hear in any of the videos that I've been doing everything on my own anyway. I didn't need you guys to, keep everybody away for me to do everything on my own. And you know that I would never count on any of you to do anything. Because you never did anything anyway, except of what you did. So, none of what you tried, it doesn't work. And like I said, since you never listen anyway, hold up. I'll be right back. Ooh, maybe I'll pause it. When you get a chance, bring me something to... Okay, I'll bring it in. All right. I'll get it. Do you have any potato chips? It's in there, Mom. Okay. And beer. Okay. Uh-huh. Sorry. I'm back. Anyway, none of this stuff is working. And it won't. And since you never listen, like I said, I've been doing things on my own for years. And I'll speak to anyone unless I have to. So tell me, what did you, accomplish by doing what you did? Or you didn't accomplish anything, with the plan. Especially following me, from people and whatever else you tried. But like I said, I know how it's done and who. But ask yourself, and I asked this before. So ask yourself again and make it stick, okay? Ask yourself, do I, me, care? No, I don't. You see, my case is at the end, which is closing and putting the last touches together, whatever they have to do. But you see, I decided I don't have any parts with it anymore. So what happens, it's on you. And whatever my team, God, and whoever they got does and puts you, with the others that were caught. I mean, so don't think you stopped me from doing what I have to, in my daily life, or put out these messages. But, that something keeps coming up where you think you're going to stop me from putting this one up. Okay. You see, the thing is, I also had a long talk with God about the ones who just continue over and over again. And every time, your stupidity kicks in, along with the ones involved, when their stupidity kicks in. And the ones that aren't involved but knew and didn't say anything. I mean, you all know about return to senders. And you also know about, ruining your bloodlines. And that, with the bloodlines, it was going to the others first, especially to the innocent ones too. But, well, as I said, enough innocent ones. It's going to stop of them getting in the middle. And before it's too late, they'll also, will be saved and healed. Because with ruining, like I said, the bloodlines, if you did anything, you ruined your bloodline. As in, this was all put on everyone long ago. And now, because the innocent ones, were being in the middle first, well, to let you know, as a warning, of what you did. And, or, who to collect But now it's all going directly to the senders and their bloodline, as in you will be ruined, as you will not exist, and their families will never remember you as family, but will remember what you did and wonder, you know, if I remember this name, oh, I wonder, did they just vanish or something? They won't know. You won't exist anymore. And everything is being done according to what was done, for the punishment. There will be no more innocent ones being involved, as I said. First in these ones' stupidity. And the other thing is, getting to the last of what I'm supposed to say is, let's talk about these fake pages. You see, I came across so many. But I'm supposed to bring it up now. Again. Stop blaming the real ones. As, the real accounts. And start speaking up to put a stop to the fake ones. Okay? Now, if someone sees sees this video or hears it or whatever, you know what I mean, let others know. Because a lot of people don't see my video. Tell them. Start speaking up. You go to the authorities. Okay? Now, like I said, one of who I used to follow, somebody went to them, well, in the comment, saying, oh, I just donated to you to some type of something. And the real one said, and had to make a video again stating that wasn't me. Especially for that kind of money and the amount. And that they do not ask plus you have to think about it. I'm not going to say how much it was, but put it this way. It's a lot. Now, you have to ask yourself, who would ask for that amount in, lump sum? Except fake accounts. Just find the video I've been saying about them. And you have to remember, I explained on the fake ones, all the followers are fake too. They're all working together. Just like I said, to get the real ones, followers, to follow them. Like I said, this way they can start, making the comments. Say they're asking for donations or whatever, and with that amount or whatever, you'll get the fake ones saying, oh yeah, I donated. This way, the real ones will see it from the real ones' followers who are now following them, thinking that it is the real ones. They'll see that, and they don't want to feel left out or, whatever, or no one wants to say anything. They'll start donating that amount. But that's all I'm going to say, except, again, stop blaming the real ones and use that anger, that you're using to yell at the real ones because you fell for it and didn't listen to all the real ones saying, we do not ask for money. We do not, whatever else they say. So, instead of yelling at them, use the anger and go to the authorities and work with them and make sure that something gets done. And I said this before, and start paying attention how they say things. One, it's all the same because there's an app out there with for, I don't know, each one, I guess, of different, whoever they make up pages or whatever, it's out there of what to say of, whoever does the fake pages. It's out there. I don't know where, but That's what I was told. And also, they don't even sound like the real ones, what they would say. And you could tell the difference also. It depends. You could tell the difference between if it's a female or if it's male. It depends on what they say to you. And I put all this up since, all through, since the beginning. And, I have to re-say it, say it again. So I'll just leave it as, remember, I choose who to be around. And, or, my person. Now, it depends. I could also walk away. It depends on what you do or what you don't do. I don't do BS, like I said, the drama, So, as, before, when I was told that, these ones, they don't like me, they get worried when I get silent. Yeah, well, they should. But you have to decide. You see, it could mean a lot of things why I could be silent. Could be that I'm done, with the BS and I'm walking away. Or the other one is, well, you see, if it is that one, you better run. That means that you went too far and you messed with the wrong one. I mean, you could run, or I should say you better run, but you'll be found because you can't hide. Or could mean, I need a hug. But if you are the person that, we are meant, should know which one of why I'm silent. Or if you're that close, like a friend, as in, or family, soul tribe, whatever. Family is soul tribe, but anyway, you should know. And with them, if I'm around you, well, I'll say that here. yeah, if I, choose to be around. I mean, either way, I'm untouchable, and so are they. So, but never mind. Um, anyway, if you're that close, or you're my person, or, whatever, you should know what it means. And others that don't know, well, you could, you know, stick around to see which one, or could find out how dangerous I could get. Yeah, it's up to you to make which one or that choice. You could run or whatever. I mean, I'm just saying. But anyway, I just know that. Never mind. Anyway, enough. But I thank everyone around the world. Thank you for listening, subscribing, viewing, and etc. I am proud of all of you. And thank you for joining, our team empire. And again, proud of you. And keep on making a difference. Remember, you're enough, and it's better, that you are here than being without you. Because you do make a difference. And don't let anyone tell you you don't. They might not, but you do. Ones who put you down or don't respect you or don't support you, lift you up, or they're just keeping you around, love bombing you or pretending, but going out with someone or someone stole them from you. You don't need them kind of people. They'll only bring you down. You walk away. And as much as it hurts, you do not show it to them. They'll figure out what will happen. You keep going. not only that you prove to yourself that you're better than what they would have kept you if you stayed. So you keep going, and all of you have a great day. Ciao.